Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Miarshad, and in this video, me and my friends are going to talk about our analysis of the short story titled A Good Man is Hard to Find. A Good Man is Hard to Find is a Southern Gothic short story written by Flannery O'Connor. The story explores morality, grace, and human flaws. The author, Flannery O'Connor, is a Catholic writer from Georgia. He often used dark humor, grotesque characters, and violence to highlight spiritual questions. After that, the title reflects the difficulty of finding true goodness in a changing society. Other than that, the story uses the grandmother's hypocrisy and her encounter with the misfit to show how moments of crisis can reveal both human weakness and possibility of redemption.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Haziq, and I'm going to talk about my part, which is plot and fretext triangle. First of all, what is plot? Plot is basically what the main story for the main event for the story is. And for this story, A Good Man is Hard to Find. The plot is about a grandmother with her grandchildren and their family are going to go to Florida, but grandmother want to go to Tennessee instead because she heard the news about an escaped convict called the Misfit. But they still go to Florida instead of Tennessee. On their way, grandmother asked them to stop by the old house that she remembers, and on their way to go to that house, grandmother's cat caused a problem that caused an accident. That resulting in their car crash. As you can see on the slides behind me, after they crash, it is so unlucky that they encounter the misfit themselves, and then misfit and his man bring them into the woods and kill them one by one. And then before the misfit calls the grandmother called misfit as one of her babies, one of my babies, as for the grandmother, showing how misfit cares about how grandmother cares about misfit. That's basically the plot of the movie. And next we have fretext triangle. What is fretext triangle? Fretext triangle is a story triangle or a pyramid made by Gustav Fretex, who is a German novelist. The pyramid have 5 points. The first one is exposition, which is the beginning of the story, and then the rising action, which is when the conflict start to build, and then climax, which is basically the plot of the story, where the story gets interesting, and then falling action, which is when the problem almost got solved or on the way to get solved in the story, and then last is resolution, which is the closure of the story. And for this story, A Good Man is Hard to Find. The first point for exposition is where the grandmother told her family to not go to Florida because of an escaped convict called the Misfit. And then next, the rising action. The rising action is when they meet Red Semi, who is I believe a tower a tower uh, a tower guard, something that told them about how a good man is hard to find, and explain to them more about the misfit, the convict, which is misfit. And then the climax is when their car crash, and they meet the misfit after the crash. And then following action is when the misfit kill them one by one without mercy. Sorry. And last but not least, the resolution is when grandmother tell misfit how she see him as one of her babies before ending her life, and the whole story. That's all from me. Bye.
Okay guys, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siman Najmuddin bin Muhammad Nazri, and today I will be explaining about the settings for the short story A Good Man is Hard to Find. Okay, so I'll be talking for the settings. Okay, let's jump into it. So for the first settings would be the Bailey's home at Atlanta, Georgia, where it told us about the story of it. It tells us about the starting point of the journey. It shows the family's daily life and the grandmother's resistance to going to Florida, which as we all know that her grandmother didn't want to go to the Florida, but she had to because of the families, and yeah, that's what happened. So the second settings would be the car, which they are on their way through Georgia, and this will be the main setting where most of the story unfolds. The family travels together, symbolizing both physical and moral journey. Next one would be the tower, which the roadside restaurant and gas station. So if we refer to the story, this tower are owned by the Red Sammy Butt and her wife. This place where themes of distrust, morality, and nostalgia are introduced. And here also they got a chain monkey, adds to the grotesque southern gothic tone. And for the last setting that I got here will be the dirt road and woods, where this is the place where most of the complicated things happen. More into the journey, I get into more conspiracy. A lot of things happen between them, and yeah, this is the place where the family has the car accident after the grandmother leads them astray, and becomes the place of the final confrontation with the misfit and his gang, and also the place where they got killed by them when they got shot. Each one of the family members died here. Okay, now I will move to the characters and characteristic. Okay, for this one, let's go for the first. I will pardon. Okay, excuse me. Okay, so for this part, I'll tell you guys about the main family first, which is we got grandmother. Her characteristic is talkative, bossy, selfish, dresses fancy, but shows kindness at the end when she shows kindness to the misfit and their team. Okay, for the second one will be the Bailey, which is the son. His characteristic is quiet, short-tempered, tired of his mother's nagging. Third one will be Bailey's wife, which is the mother. Very silent, plain, and take care of the baby. And for the fourth one will be the John Wesley, which is the 8-year-old baby. It's not a baby, it's a boy. My bad. Which is rude, disrespectful, and likes to tease. And next one will be June Star, which is the young girl, and her characteristics are sassy, rude, and sarcastic. And next one will be the baby, which is very innocent and doesn't do much. Next one will be the last one of the main family, which is Pity Singh the cat, the one who causes the car accident. Okay, now we will move to the side characters, which is the misfit, the escaped criminal, polite but dangerous, and questions religions, and also kills the family. Next one will be the Bobby Lee, which is the misfit's helper, and fat, childish, and also enjoys killing. Next one will be the Hiram, very quiet, follows orders, and the one who helps with the murders. Next one will be the Red Sammy, which is the diner owner and also the owner of the tower. He complains people can't be trusted, a good man. And the last one will be the Red Sammy's wife, which is suspicious, says nobody can be trusted. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Azrul Naufal Beru Azman, and I'm going to explain to you guys about the theme of the story. First of all, the first theme is Grace. The main character reached out to the misfit as he were own child, and then she also shows real compassion by not pretending but truly feeling sympathy and love. The explanation is in the dialogue that says, "Why you're one of my babies? You're one of my children." And then the next theme is redemption. Grandma lies to the children about secret panel, and also explain that this selfish tie leads them into the woods where they meet the misfits. The dialogue is, the misfit says she would have been a good woman if it had been somebody there to shoot her every minute of her life. And the final theme is violence as a path to truth. The brutal murder forced the grandmother to face reality. The explanation is in the dialogue, which says, the brutal murders forced the grandmother to face reality. Next is, I'm going to explain to you guys about the literary devices that was included in the story. The first literary devices is irony. The main character tries to avoid danger, which is the misfits, yet her action leads their family directly to him, which is going to kill their family, the grandmother, the main character, yeah. And the explanation in the dialogue is, in case of an accident, anyone seeing her dead on the highway would know at once that she was a lady. And the second literary devices is symbolism. The misfits, which symbolize dark, evil, honestly about life meaning. The explanation in the dialogue is, She would have been a good woman if he had been somebody there to shoot her every minute of her life. And the final literary devices, which is imagery, the most interesting one, in my opinion. O'Connor, the writer of the story, used detailed description to create strong mental pictures. The explanation wherein the dialogue is, the trees were full of silver white sunlight, and the meanness of them spark. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be talking about A Good Man is Hard to Find by Flannery O'Connor. Specifically, I'll explain the character of the grandmother, the conflicts in the story, and the point of view. So let's start with the grandmother. She is the central character in the story. She is both funny and frustrating. She's an older woman who lives with her son, Bailey, and his family. She's very talkative, bossy, and manipulative. For example, she tries to convince Bailey not to go to Florida and even sneaks her cat into the car. She also dresses up for the car ride in case she dies in an accident so that people would know she was a lady. This shows that she cares a lot about appearances. Throughout the story, she often talks about good people and complains that the world is not as nice as it used to be. But she is also hypocritical because she judges others while failing to see her own flaws. However, in her final moment, when she faces death, she shows true compassion by reaching out to the misfit and calling him one of her own children. This moment is important because it shows a small spark of humanity even though it comes too late to save her. Now, let's look at the conflicts in the story. There are three main types of conflict. The first one is external conflict, or man versus man. This is the family against the misfit. After the accident, the criminal and his men slowly kill the family one by one. This is the most obvious and dramatic conflict. The second conflict is external as well, but it's man versus society. The grandmother constantly complains that people are not good anymore and that the world is getting worse. This shows her struggle against changing social values and her nostalgia for the past. The third conflict is internal, or man versus self. The grandmother struggles with her own identity and hypocrisy. She talks about being good and proper, but she doesn't really live up to those values. Only at the end, when she is about to die, does she know genuine kindness and self-awareness. Finally, let's talk about the point of view. The story is written in third person limited. This means the narrator is outside the story but mostly follows the grandmother's perspective. We get to hear her thoughts, her judgments, and her feelings. For example, we see how she thinks about what makes a good person good or how she reacts to the misfit. However, the narrator does not give us the inner thoughts of the other characters like Bailey or the misfit. Instead, we only learn about them through their dialogue and actions. So to conclude, the grandmother is a complex character, selfish and flawed but capable of grace in her final moment. The story's conflicts, both external and internal, highlight the struggle between good and evil, society and morality, and the self against its own weaknesses. And through the limited third-person point of view, we are pushed to see the story mainly through the grandmother's eyes, which makes her final transformation even more powerful. That's all from me. Thank you.